Whew. Gotta watch out for those damn microwave burritos. Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, here with my 30th video review. So I thought I'd mark the occasion by covering a stupidly expensive toy. This is, from The Dark Knight, Batman original costume by Hot Toys. One really cool thing is that this outer slipcase, it's a really cool texture to it. And it's really nice. The box feels like it goes with a triple-digit cost toy. That is a shot of the toy, by the way. And this part actually slides off. If you get into some kind of horrible, shipping mishap, there's multiple layers of thick, sturdy cardboard for the mishap to get buffered against. I love how they have all these credits. Yuli, one of the best sculptors I've ever seen on a mass-produced toy line. You can also open the thing here. It's one of the best boxes I've ever gotten. It's worth a review by itself. But let's move on to the actual figure. I'm Batman! Yeah, nothing like a joke that's been beaten half to death 3 times over and through purgatory. The head sculpt is nothing short of mind-blowingly immaculate. It looks like Bale, pretty much, in the mask. And as you can see, I'm playing with the lighting here, because one thing about this toy is, oh my god, does it ever react to different styles of lighting? I don't just mean like, straight on or shadowed. I mean like different areas, different pannings. I'm waving the light all over the place here just to give you a little bit of an idea of just how cool it is to light this toy. There are, however, a disappointing number of problems with this toy, and I'm taking into consideration its nature as a collectible more than a toy. And this is not something you can give to a little kid at all. He has a lot of cool details, though. However, let's cover my first big problem. His utility belt is really well sculpted. You see those 2 batarangs there? Those are removable. Do you want to know how easy they are to remove? Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm sorry to say. The batarangs are supposed to clip into that, into this little 4-pronged holder here. It works very haphazardly at best. The belt is really well sculpted. One feature that does work for the belt, however, is Bat Gun. Can store there on the back like in the movies, and it stores there rather well because the cape covers it, and you don't really see it, so that's pretty cool. And he can reach around and grab it too. Also, you can see some really nice detail here on the torso, on this armor. It's really well done. The suit is rubber. It's a Hot Toys True Type body, molded in black plastic, so he's fairly posable. And he's got this rubber suit over top, and you can see it has a lot of give, so it's not too tight. It won't tear itself apart when you pose him. That said, I don't see this suit surviving unless you never touch the toy. I will say, do not leave him on your shelf with his limbs all bent, because that's just going to exasperate things. However, also be prepared for a split to happen. It's inevitable. It's rubber. Unless you somehow can humidify it, keep it a perfect condition, it's more likely than not something will tear within, a couple years. That's just how it works. So go in knowing that. That said, he's black plastic underneath this, so if a tear does happen, it's not like you're going to see flesh underneath it. It'll cover itself pretty well, I'm quite sure. He has multiple hands for holding things, fists, open hands. Unlike the DC Direct 12-inch, his fists are not the size of pool balls, so he doesn't have hilariously undersized fists, and because he doesn't have those awful DC Direct posable finger hands, his open hand is actually nice looking. Now, you can swap his hands. In theory, you can swap his hands. Let me show you what happens. You pull on his hand, and it comes out with this peg. Now you'd think, oh cool, I'll plug the other one on. That peg is the only one. You're actually supposed to pull the other end of the peg out of this socket in here. That is a terrifying thing to do, because it involves a lot of force, even after you've done something like me and filed the pegs down. Apparently, if you stick his hands in boiling water, that helps, but I really don't like having to prepare a kettle of water to mess around with my toys. The best way I've found to do it is remove this arm guard thing. So if you stick this back on, then you bend it upwards, and then start pulling on that whilst trying to ease it off the peg. There you go, you get that off. That's not fun to do. It's harrowing, because this toy costs almost $200, probably $200 after shipping. And the original suit Batman will not be coming to the States. It's the only one of the Hot Toys Dark Knight figures announced so far that isn't coming stateside. So, it's not fun to have a fragile toy where you have to apply that much force. Anyway, he can do some cool poses, like, here's one of the trailer poses from Batman Begins. Trailer, poster, whatever. His true type body gives him double jointed elbows. He's got a lot of this movement up here. Only real problem with this is, you see how it bunches up there on the shoulders and on the elbows? You can't really do anything about that, so it's good if you can get the cape over that a little bit and, hide it. His head posability is a little bit limited, but that's more a case of the suit design, and that's actually a plot point, so there you go. His legs are posable. A lot of people don't pose these, mostly because it is terrifying to do. He's got ankle posability and soft boots. Unfortunately, it's so loose that a lot of the time his foot will come off the joint inside the boot. I believe that if you don't, sit there putting him into manic yoga poses all the time, he can actually survive posing pretty well. This stand I don't like. It gets the job done, however, these two prongs basically wedge themselves up. You can extend it up or down as you need it. They wedge themselves against his inner thighs. His inner thighs are wearing a fragile rubber bodysuit. Metal prongs rubbing up really hard against rubber. Do not want! This cape is really cool. It's big. It's a nice material. Stretches out really nice-like. One big problem with it, for me anyway, and this is me being a detail stickler. By the way, the belt's removable. Just don't do it because it's harrowing, as many things are on this toy. You see up here, those two triangles holding the cape in there? Those are kind of in the right place, only not so much. And because of the way they're put there and the way that the cape is attached, you can't have it drape nicely over his shoulders. It drapes kind of sideways over his shoulders, which means it also gets a really big wrinkle up here, like this, whenever you try to pull it over him. Some other accessories this guy comes with, by the way, are a little mine. He also comes with an incredible accessory, which you may have seen in the Long Arm Prime election video. Christian Bale head. Now, I'd stick it on here, but it looks like he's not wearing a mask. That's it. This head, however, has a lot of hidden features. It's actually the Bale Master, and I'll show you what I mean. Optimus Bale. The Bale Monger. Mr. Linder Bale. Moto Bale. Bale Wave says you're small time. Bale Getter 3! Something just to point out in the middle of all this. The texture on that head, you see that? It's got a really lifelike skin texture, and it's just the sculpting and the paint. Bale Spreem! Bale Rider the First! Spider Bale! Bale Commander! Bale Gun Powered! Space Runaway, Bale Dion. Engine Bale, G9. Bale Fighter Alpha 2. Baleage! Total Baleage! And the King of Braves. Bale Geigar. Don't worry, folks. I murdered that joke so hard it will never become a meme. This Hot Toys thing is great if you want one of the best figures and representations of the Begins Batman suit you can get. Pretty much. That's what it is. If you're not into that, you're not into that. However, I will say it's worth it just for the Bale Master, because this sculpt is really good, right down to the scar under his right eye there. I'd recommend this over the Takara and the Medicom only because those two cost more than this costs. Anyway, Batman here, he's got to go off. He's got to, he's got to go and fight criminals. So he's like, pashing! It's a bit of a shame that, it's Batman Begins and there's no Ra's al Ghul toy. Look, there's no one for him to fight. Oh well, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you all later. No one to fight. What kind of a poor joke is that?